President of African Development Bank, AFDB, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has warned that Nigeria could not import its way out of food insecurity. However, he noted that the recent decision by the federal government to open Nigeria's borders for massive food importation was depressing. Adesina said the food importation policy in Nigeria gave a distressing trumpet sound since Nigeria could not import its way out of food insecurity, warning that politicization of food production would hurt Nigeria with potential risk of permanently destroying the country's agriculture. The AFDB boss, who was Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture between 2011 and 2015, also said the resort to food importation cost him his excitement, and like Prophet Jeremiah, he was bent over in pain. Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss Dr. Akinwumi Adesina's criticism of the reopening of borders and warning that Nigeria can't import its way out of food insecurity. He'll also be looking at how to boost food production in Nigeria and bring prices down. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure being here as usual.
It's great to have you as always. Right. What do you make of this stance by Dr. Akinwumi Adesina? Do you see cause for concern like he's
Of course,
stating?
he's greatly concerned, but you must look at the context in which he's talking and the audience he's talking to. You know, he quoted the Bible there, was in pain like Jeremiah, one of the early prophets. He was talking to Anglican clergymen on the topic about food sustainability. His concern about importation of food is genuine, and he knows what he's saying because he was Minister of Agriculture. But you see, he too knows that things are not as easy as that. He's the Minister of Agriculture. He knows the policies on the ground. But now, he's a bigger fish, you know. African Development Bank, he organizes loans to various countries, and maybe he lost touch with what he left on the ground. It's not as if the Nigerian government fell in love with food importation, but that's the reality. They say the Nigerian government now, like Jeremiah that he quoted, is in pain. That way, because there is scarcity of food in the country. That is why food insecurity is an emergency. And to get food for Nigerians, Adesina too was in the place. He knows the plans of successive governments to make food affordable, available immediately to Nigerians, which is where we are now. You go to the markets, you see the tomatoes, you see the yellow fruits and vegetables, they are there, but they are not affordable. That is the problem of government. And he said, the problem, the solution is getting politicized. So he knows what is on the ground. But then he knows there is the problem of insecurity and the problem of power. By power now, I mean energy, to generate electricity and create and make manufacturing companies, make agricultural implements to be used for food production, rather than importing them. That way, because Nigeria has done it for substitution before now. We want to protect our own industries, and then you discover in the process that the cost of what is being produced here is higher than the imported one. So what the government has done is a palliative. It's a palliative, and it's a short-term measure. It's not as if they do not know agric economics or development economics. He's talking theory, whereas these people are in pain, like Jeremiah again, to make food available in the midst of plenty. Let's leave it at that for now.
All right. Some are saying the concerns are that it's starting to seem as though this government has a trial and error approach towards the issue of food security. Because just a year ago, it was July of last year, where a state of emergency was declared on food security. 12-point intervention was reeled out by the government with various measures, such as sharing fertilizer, 500,000 hectares of arable land to be released, and so many things in that list of things that were to be done. But here we are a year later, not seeing results from those interventions, and now creating more interventions, food importations, introduction of Ministry of Livestock. So some people are saying it's not so much the aspect of saying there shall be a temporary importation of food, but more that it seems as though the approach is not strategic, but rather trial and error. What's your take on that?
Well, I agree it's trial and error, but there's something called exigency, which is what they are coping with. You see, it is a dynamic situation. And they say it never rains but pours. And problem solution is a strategic, dynamic, and at times instinctive issue. Get me? And I think government is juxtaposing all together. But what matters is the result. They have not been able to get the desired result. And this is where the politicization of food production comes in. We get most of our food from the north. There's insecurity in the north. The herdsmen have chased away the farmers from their farms. They can't bring in food. And if the logistics is there, they cannot, the roads are bad. And when the trailers bring in the food, they must add that, the cost of haulage and all that, to the price. And government knows. It's not as if this government, I don't hold pretty for them. They have imported tractors, they have imported fertilizer and all this, but those ones will not germinate one day. So it's their neck that is on the line. That's why I say, like Jeremiah, like he quoted, they are in pain. So you may call it trial and error, you may call it instinctive, but they are solution-solving measures. And hopefully, they succeed in time.
Well, whether we call it trial and error, instinctive, Mr. Sobowale, one thing that happens is history tends to repeat itself. Yes. So when you look down history and you look at maybe other countries that have had a similar situation that you can compare to what we're experiencing now, is there a model example of what you'd like to see, that is a method you'd like to see, or an approach you'd like to see that is certain, not trial and error, but is probably guaranteed to give us the outcome that we are looking for?
If you look at China, whereas the one-party state, it's a command economy. If you want food, you confiscate land, you bring food. Soviet Union, when they want that, North Korea, but they don't want that to happen there. This is a democracy. And like I said the other time, you see, we got independence in 1960. He said it there, that if you are still importing food, you are not independent. But he should know better. You get it now. That we have had military intervention, we have had 5-year development plans, scuttled, we have had Operation Feed the Nation, we have had so many attempts. See, the contexts are different. The climate changes are there. You get me? And the seasonal ones, the changes and unintended consequences, unexpected issues are there. So let us learn from our own mistakes. Do you get me? If you can't borrow, our context is different. Our geography, our climatology, the leadership we have, the quality of education, the orientation of our people, they are different. So let's face our problem. He's one of them. I mean, he's one of us. I have no objection to him saying things the way it is. But I say in the past, during the military regime, I remember Professor Adebayo Adedeji was executive secretary, ECA, criticized Babangida regime. They withdrew his nomination from ECA. But see, he knows our problem. We know our problem. Nobody is happy with it.
We're just rounding up, Mr. Sobowale. I just want to butt in quickly. When you say he knows our problem, he referred to political issues, the politicization of food security. This is something we've all known. Do you think we'll ever be able to move beyond this quote-unquote politicization of food security?
Politicization, unless you are dead. See, politics is ubiquitous and is practiced by human beings. So guess what, when, and how. So it's a living problem. Get me? It's a matter of leadership. It's a matter of I don't envy those in charge now. That's why you can talk about them. Get me? As long as people are hungry, they too can sleep well. So his contribution is a welcome development to make government move faster and put food on the table for Nigerians.
Hopefully they move faster, like you just said. But for now, I would like to thank you for your time and insight as always. Arise analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale, thank you so much for joining us here on News.